So basically, Deepak ji has covered his presentation now, and yeah, I request you to conclude on that, and then also let us know the story of Adani and Holcim Group.
Yeah, I think I would first run through the story of Adani and Holcim, which is very exciting and interesting. And am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So just give me a minute. I'll be sharing the screen.
Yeah.
On comment, sir. So this is a very small presentation, which anyways was made for a study circle, which I'm just going to be showing it to you. वो presentation ही मेरी गुम हो गई.
आज कुछ टेक्निकल चैलेंजेस ज्यादा आ गए सर.
No, just give me a minute. And I was so excited when you said, you know, why don't you share? तो मुझे लगा एक अच्छी चीज मिल रही है. Okay, I think I'll now try to share it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be trying to share this.
Yeah, it
Is
there.
this PDF clear? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is a very, very famous Adani Holcim deal. And the question is, are we following the legacy of Vodafone tax issue? Very interesting. But before really getting into the synopsis, the first 3 paragraphs, let me just take you to the deal, which is very important for all of us to understand. And then I'll come to. So 15th day of May 2022, that is a Sunday, was a very important day in, again, the tax history of India. The Adani Group, the Gautam Adani Group announced that the promoter family, through their offshore entity, which the name of which is Endeavour Trade and Investment Limited, which is a Mauritius-based entity, they have entered into definitive agreement for the acquisition of Holcim's entire holding in Ambuja Cements and ACC. तो अभी 15 मई को उन्होंने अनाउंस किया कि अडानी ग्रुप ने कि जो उनकी एंडेव्योर ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट कंपनी मॉरिशस में है, वो एक कंपनी जिसका नाम होलसिम है, उसके पूरे के पूरे शेयर होल्डिंग एक्वायर कर रही है. और जैसे ही वो शेयर होल्डिंग वो एक्वायर करती है, एंटायर अंबुजा सीमेंट्स एंड एसीसी वुड कम इन द अडानी ग्रुप्स अम्ब्रेला. और इसके लिए मॉरिशियस में इन लोगों ने क्या किया है, अडानी ग्रुप एंडेव्योर ट्रेड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट, जिसको शॉर्ट में ETIL भी कह सकते हैं, ETIL Adani Group in Mauritius, they have entered into a share purchase agreement. और ये शेयर परचेज एग्रीमेंट इज एंटर्ड विद अ नीदरलैंड बेस्ड कंपनी जिसका नाम है होल्डर फिन बीवी नीदरलैंड्स. और होल्डर फिन बीवी नीदरलैंड्स एक कंपनी होल्ड करती है होल्डर एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिटेड. तो अडानी ग्रुप मॉरिशियस ने होल्डर इनके साथ एक परचेज एग्रीमेंट एंटर किया है फॉर परचेज ऑफ 100% ऑफ होल्डर एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिटेड. और ये जो होल्डर एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिटेड है, जो कि अब अडानी ग्रुप की हो जाएगी, होल्डर एंड होल्ड्स 63% stake in Ambuja Cements India, and they also have a shareholding of 4.48% in ACC. तो होल्डर एंड जैसे ही उनके पास आ जाती है तो 63% अंबुजा का आ जाएगा, 4.48% ACC में आ जाएगा. और इंटरेस्टिंगली जो अंबुजा सीमेंट है, जैसे ही इनके पास आती है, अंबुजा सीमेंट होल्ड्स मोर देन 50% इन ACC. सो टेक्निकली Adani Group, through their Mauritius entity acquiring Holder and Investment Limited, will get nearly 100% stake in Ambuja and ACC. तो एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन ये आ रहा है, which is very, very interesting. And I guess in one of our sessions, we have talked about MLIs, BEPS, GAR, etc. Up the question is that 100% of holder in will be acquired from the Netherlands-based Holderfin BV. So as soon as this Netherlands-based entity is acquired, we will also have to look at the DTAA between India and Netherlands. Article 13 and clause 5 of the DTAA between India and Netherlands, it says that any tax liability arising out of this kind of a acquisition, the tax liability will only happen in Netherlands and not in India. तो ये पॉइंट हम लोगों को समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि मॉरिशियस बेस्ड एंटिटी है अदानी की जो एक्वायर कर रही है 100% इन होल्डर इंड इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिटेड, और होल्डर इंड इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिटेड की पेरेंट कंपनी है होल्डर फिन बीवी जो नीदरलैंड्स बेस्ड है। और जैसे ये एंटिटी वो एक्वायर करती है तो इंडिया नीदरलैंड्स का DTAA को हमें देखना पड़ेगा। And as per Article 13 Clause 5, if there is any tax liability which arises because of such acquisition, the liability will only arise in Netherlands and not in India. Or as we all know, because of Section 90, if DTAA has a beneficial provision, it also overrides Section 195 of the Income Tax Act, which deals with the tax deduction at source for payment made to non-residents. तो ये फैक्ट है, ये फैक्चुअल सिचुएशन है। अब इंडिया क्या करे, अडानीज क्या करे? They have taken a lot of opinions. There are opinions from all big fours and big tax consultants. But Indian Tax Department has said, and this is according to the provisions of the Indian Income Tax Act, that if there is an indirect transfer of shares, this is a kind of an indirect transfer of shares because Adani's Mauritius-based company is acquiring Ambuja and ACC. So Section 9, the proviso to 911 says that as per if the shares which are acquired of a company and any asset that is derived out of acquisition of such shares, if it has a value more than 50% from Indian assets, the taxation should happen domestically. यानी एक ये जो प्रोविजन आया था 2019 में, इसके तहत इनडायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर ऑफ शेयर रेगुलेशन वाज ब्रॉट इन, किया गया था कि इनरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ व्हाट DTAA सेज, अगर आप कोई भी शेयर्स किसी इंडियन एंटिटी के एक्वायर करते हैं इनडायरेक्टली, जिसकी की मेजर एसेट्स आर लोकेटेड इन इंडिया, India will have the right to tax a merger and acquisition transaction on the capital gains if more than half of the assets are by value are located in India. So this is what the question is. And post this 2019 indirect transfer, this is going to be in the first high profile merger and acquisition deal, which Indian tax authorities are going to test under this amended indirect transfer regulations, particularly concerning the India-Netherlands DTAA. This means that India will have the right to tax on this amended transaction. And it is because more than 50% of the assets of both Ambuja and ACC, they are located in India. In fact, nearly the entire. So this is what the challenge is going to arise. And in fact, Adanis have kept a significant sum of money aside. And in the past also, of course, I have not put in any landmark judgments here, but in the past also, Income Tax Department had questioned the tax treaties on the ground of substance, which means that if the tax department has reasons to believe that a particular jurisdiction is merely used to evade taxes in India and it has no substance, then domestic laws should be applied on that transaction. So in short, this is what we are going to witness in next few months on this particular deal. So I hope this is clear. And maybe if time permits, sometime we'll talk about MLIs, BEPS, international and DTAAs, that how all these things put together, is going to making us witness to this great Adani. So thank you. And if you have any questions and understanding, I would really love to. मेरा भी ये pre-preparation हो गया before going to the study circle.
So basically, what I could understood is that this is a battle between the provisions of the law, which has been amended 2-3 years back, wherein they have covered the indirect transfer also, as well as the DTAA provisions with the Netherlands, which India has.
Yeah.
Since DTAA provisions are overriding the provisions of tax laws, the Adani's arguments are like that it is not
there will be no withholding taxes in India. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. It is. So there will be no withholding tax because of the DTAA. But maybe that department's argument is that first indirect transfers are covered, and then if there is any agreement, if there is any transaction which is basically just to evade the taxes, or tax treaties are just to use the you can say evade the taxes, then such treaties may not be relevant for the purpose of taxation. That is what I could get from.
This is also derived from Azadi Bachao Andolan, one of the landmark judgments by the Supreme Court of India. So that judgment is under the scrutiny now.
And then how it is different from Vodafone's case, which
Vodafone, the case was very different because the Vodafone was of course in my sorry, I'll just stop the share. So Vodafone was mainly through the tax havens or the entities with which jurisdictions with which India didn't have the DTAA at that point in time. So that was the reason. But here Adanis have done it very smartly. They have a Mauritius and they are acquiring a Netherlands entity. And both Mauritius, Netherlands, India, Netherlands, and India, Mauritius, we have all the DTAAs in place. So they have played very, very smart, unlike Vodafone.
Correct. Yeah. So I think any other questions from any of the participants on this? So now we can move to quiz now. So our quiz master Tushar Goyal is there, who will be sharing the link for quizzes.com.
उससे पहले कि कुछ शुरू हो, मैं कुछ बच्चों से पूछना चाहूंगा. If they understood what this deal is, can someone from the participant from Kalani and Company tell me what this deal is? Just the deal. Anyone?
Subhanshi, can you explain? Subhanshi Garg.